Now, I
But
don't even know if that guy had a name. It's just the engineer. In these vaults,
Yeah.
if you don't have a role, are you just like he's just engineer of 33? Like that's
You're Chet Jr.
Oh,
or Chet
you're
the
Chet
Third.
Jr.
Welcome to the Cinema So Far podcast, the podcast where good friends talk about great cinema. I'm your host, James, and today we are joined by our co-hosts, Sydney.
Hey, y'all.
And Paul.
Yo.
And we have Travis.
Hey, coming to you from Vault-Tec headquarters.
And today we are talking about Fallout Season 2, Episode 1. We've been waiting for this day for quite a while.
It's finally here, gang.
It's finally here. Finally here. We made it. And this episode, Episode 1 of Season 2, is called The Innovator. And it is directed by Frederick E.O. Toy. And the writers were Geneva Robertson Dworet, Graham Wagner, and Chaz Hawkins. So 3 credited writers there. And as we mentioned before, this is something that we've been waiting to cover. We actually went through Season 1 kind of fast in order to get to this episode and have it come out on time. So just a little bit of background for everybody. We really wanted to cover Season 2 and, really, keep up with it because last year, Season 1, not last year, but Season 1, when it came out all at once. But Season 2 is going to drop on Amazon Prime 1 episode per week, and we are going to cover it every week. So from this week to the next, we're going to be covering this show and get all the way through before we move on to any other movies or TV shows. So all Fallout all the time for at least the next 8 weeks or so. I don't know how many episodes they actually said they're going to do.
I hope you can join us for the conversation every week. Also, if you just can't get enough of Fallout, you got to check it out. Season 1, our recaps.
Yes, we cover it in depth and answer a lot of questions, mostly questions that, are based on us not understanding something and Alex explaining it to us. Because we all of us have not played the Fallout game, so there's not really going to be any spoilers there. We're just show watchers and enjoying it as it comes out on Amazon Prime. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So this episode is called The Innovator, and just to play the name game with you guys, why do you think it's called The Innovator? Got any ideas there?
While I was watching, I noticed immediately the mind control device, and that's how I connected it to the Innovator, and how that science has progressed to this point.
All right, so Robert House, the Justin Theroux character, is the Innovator.
I have more to say about that later.
That was my idea too. I figured it went to him, and I think a lot of the episode kind of was walking around the edge of finding out more about him.
I totally agree with that. I have another idea too. I think that Hank, Lucy's father, would also be considered an innovator. He's coming back to Vault-Tec and trying to pick up where Robert House left off with that device. And he's wanting to innovate to the point where he feels like he's going to get some kind of raise. Not raise, but like a promotion.
Yeah. Always the objective of middle management. So.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Got to move up the corporate ladder. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get into the recap. Well, actually, before we get into the recap, let's get some overall thoughts about the episode. When it comes to the episode for me, I'm just happy to be back in this world. I love the Fallout world, and just to really see not only what is going to happen story wise, how it's going to progress, but try to figure out how many of those questions, those lingering questions that we had leaving season 1 were going to get answered. And we did get a few in this episode, but I really enjoyed it. There is some things that I thought, I felt like there was some exposition, kind of a lot of exposition where the characters are kind of having to explain, like, we're on our way to Las Vegas, or, things like that. Like, they had to say things, I think, for maybe some of the audience members that weren't following as closely as we were, or weren't doing a podcast on it where they're covering it week to week. So, they kind of had to put things in there to catch people up, or at least let them know what the objectives were for the characters. But I didn't mind it too much. I just, I observed it and just felt like, okay, that's what you have to do. But the episode was packed full of action, gore, comedy. So I loved it. What did you guys think?
I mean, I'm excited just for the Ghoul and to see him progress. And that I'm just excited for this whole season, and that there's probably going to be a season 3. Again, I would just watch it for the Ghoul, but I really like that it's a journey and they're on a mission. So I like following that mission and see how they coincide with each other.
I thought it picked up exactly where it left off last season. So, I mean, it was seamless. If you're watching through, you wouldn't even notice that they went into a second season. It just, kept leading down the road. I think I'm used to their universe now, so it's less shocking to me, eye-wise and gore-wise and things like that. But I thought it was a good episode. I'm glad they're starting to lead on to some answers. There's some heavy-handedness with this whole corporations and the rich, and with everything going on around us, like, do I want to watch a show that's kind of talking about the same thing too? So that's my one complaint.
Hitting close to home, reality is setting in here. Is it?
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's unfolding the way it should. Like you said, the writers have continued to come up with some good scripts. And, from a little research I've done, just, this isn't in the game like this. They've developed the whole stories around this. Some parts are in the game, some parts are not. But, it's interesting to see. And as now I'm looking into more deeper dives, before I'll watch the episode first. I haven't looked forward, I'll watch the episode and then I do look into deeper lore and stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see how the pieces come together between the two.
Yeah, the pieces are coming together, and I totally agree with what you guys are saying, because yeah, like, you're right, Paul. If you were just kind of binging all the way through, you might not have noticed that it's actually a second season that started, because it just picked up right where the story left off, with at least Lucy and the Ghoul, which they're on the road and they're, doing their thing, which we would have expected from watching the finale of last season. And speaking of, much like, Sydney's headphones there, like she said, season 3 is greenlit.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, they're gonna have some more after this season is done, and I can't wait to see what happens next. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this episode. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. I wonder if you picked out some things that maybe I would have missed as I was watching it, because whenever I'm watching it for the first time, I'm just kind of taking it all in. I'm not really noticing everything. I think there's a lot of stuff that I do miss, but in my second watch, that's when I'm usually taking my notes, and I'll try to dial that in a little bit. But let's see if you guys have some of the same thoughts that I had as we were going through this recap here.
I know that when I watch it, I tend to have some struggle with ADHD and remembering the order of every scene, right? So,
and the commercials, oh, they get me.
My cousin forced me to upgrade because he was annoyed. He's like, dude, it's $3 more. I'm like, that's the problem.
Can get sidetracked for an hour.
Yeah. So
you know how many bottle caps that is?
He's like, yeah, exactly. He hasn't had to deal with that trade yet. But I know it just jumps around all over the place in a good way. Like, it's done well. I like how they're doing it in the editing, but it is very much going, and it'll be very short on some scenes. It'll say a lot will happen in that little short scene, but then take longer in other scenes. But just as we go through the recap, I might bounce around like, oh, remember this? Oh, that's coming up later, you know.
Well, I wrote the recap to be a little bit more free flowing, so hopefully we can get into stuff, and it's not necessarily getting ahead of ourselves. But
and like you said, on the second watch through is when I started to like take notes, but then look into other deep dives, look into who's in the scene, what music. So I'm gonna try to jump in with some of those for us this week, since we have Alex on the MIA list. He's I think he might be locked into Vault-31 with Norm.
Who knows? Who knows?
And the Roomba with a brain.
Yes. Brain in a jar.
We open on a riot before the fallout, and we see Robert House in a bar. And this is the real Robert House, not the fake one that's on TV. And he talks to some construction workers and talks them into taking him outside.
Yeah.
To fight.
Right.
But then he plants a device on one of them, and that construction worker beats his friends to a bloody pulp
because
with a
that's what he
baseball
tells them to do.
Because of the device that he put on the back of his neck.
All right.
That was Justin Theroux, right?
It was Justin Theroux.
Justin Theroux is so cool, man.
Yeah,
He's
so cool.
I know him from American Psycho, so immediately I'm just so into it. Like, holy shit, that's Justin Theroux! I was so excited.
Wow. See, I know him from The Leftovers.
Okay.
Which is another show on HBO, but I don't think I've remember him in American Psycho. That's cool. I got to go back and check that out.
Well, it's interesting to see this now after watching it back. I didn't at the first realization put two and two together that it was two different actors playing what we see as so Mr. House. Now, another thing I watched has some other perspectives that might get deeper than that. So when I can dive into that as we discuss his character more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to discuss it whenever you want. I think like there was a lot in here in this opening scene, and kind of like if you blink, you miss it. So one of those things is why people are rioting. I think people are rioting because robots are taking jobs, and the public is really pissed off about it. Did anyone else catch that?
Yeah.
Why the riots were actually happening?
Weren't they opening with beating the robot's ass, like just beating it up?
Yeah.
You know what it kind of reminded me of that scene in Office Space where they're just beating the printer.
The printer.
Yeah. And damn, it feels good to be a gangster is playing.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I should have thought of that. Yeah.
It really reminded me of that when they were beating the robot.
That's funny. Yeah. And
had to get that in there.
And another thing you might not have noticed if you like I said, they don't really spell it out for you, but so Robert House on TV is a different person. He's the same person that was in last season that was in that room
at the round table.
at the round table,
the
right? The
private
cabal
discussion.
of
Mhm.
at Vault-Tec, where they were really talking about what to do. He that's him, and he's the same one that's on TV. But I just think it's really interesting that the actual Robert House, got someone to look like him and is playing him on TV. And I just wondered if you guys thought about that, if you thought about why. I was trying to wrap my head around it because it took me a while to kind of figure it out. I was like, wait, they got the same mustache. They kind of look the same, but that's his name up there. So it took me a minute to figure it out.
Yeah,
Can I start with my ignorance?
Please.
Who the fuck is Robert House?
Literally, Paul. I was thinking like, who is that?
So that's the guy that's in the bar. That
right. I know that.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying who is. You keep talking about different Robert Houses, and the real Robert House. So just give me who's the real Robert House.
So
is that the buff guy? The buff one, the bald one?
No. The real Robert House is the one in the bar that.
Well, supposedly the real. There's a deeper.
Well, he is.
We could go way deeper.
What do you mean the real though?
That's what I'm saying.
So
that's what I'm saying.
This is what I'm saying. So so last season when they're in the room and they're talking about, bombing the world, there was a guy in there with a mustache that's smoking a cigarette.
For Robco, right?
For Robco.
Yes.
Right. He's the owner of Robco.
Robert Co. It's Robert Company.
Right.
So
Robert House is who that guy is.
Yes. He's the owner of Robco. He's the creator. But it's actually the senior, right? Is the one who started. Okay. I don't want to lose Sydney here before I start.
Right. Yeah. But let me just say, just so you understand the scene. So he's on TV. He's on TV talking, as Robert House.
Okay? On the show.
Yes.
But I'm saying like he's literally on the TV in that world talking. Right. But he looks exactly like the person that is in the bar who opens his trunk and has $31,000 there, right?
It's two different actors.
It's two different actors, but they look very similar. It's because the real guy. So imagine like if Elon Musk hired a stunt double, and that stunt double kind of looks like Elon Musk and goes on TV as Elon Musk, and everyone knows that person as Elon Musk, but the real Elon Musk is kind of in the shadows and
Okay. So you're saying
on TV.
The real Robert House was in the bar.
Correct.
Okay.
We're led to believe.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what they were saying on the page there, Travis. But what's the conspiracy theory that you're pitching here?
Yeah, and so that's where I'm going to try to make up for Alex here, but I'll never be able to do that in a million years. But I'm trying to bring the game perspective here, where the other perspective is that the game, the father started. There is obviously a father, Robert House, started the company, the tool company, right? H&H, the H&H tool company, and then all that stems from all that, right? Well, apparently in the game, he has two sons, Robert and Anthony. Potentially might be setting up to be seeing both characters, but in the game, you don't ever know where Anthony is at. Like it's the younger brother. We don't know where he's at, but there's a lot deeper perspective into that if you're in the game, because the game covers all this, and apparently you'll learn all about it, playing through the game of New Vegas. So you'll see the whole family lineage. So there's a lot we're going to have to piece together being show watchers first, that maybe get a little more confusing if you try to dive into the lore.
Well, and I try to stay away from that stuff. Like, if I'm watching Game of Thrones, or House of the Dragon is a perfect example. Like if I'm watching House of the Dragon, I'm not going to go read the book, and to find out what happens.
Because they can be different.
Right. They do kind of, and I think that's what TV show writers do now, which is they know like, hey, that information is out there, so I'm going to kind of play off of it, but give a lot of new, a lot of new stuff for people that have probably already read it. So I'm sure that they're going to change it, but that's what
I would go and read a book of something that I saw that I really liked.
No, but before you see it, though, I mean,
are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
Finish watching it first,
I think I mean, it happens. Sometimes you read a book and then they make a movie out of it. I don't think the movie ever lives up to the book. That's what I was saying is if you watch the movie first and go read the book, you get so much more insight and story and everything. So.
Yeah.
I agree. I would always rather read the book before a show or a movie I really, really want to watch. And as far as like the Elon Musk thing, look, I didn't catch it until y'all were talking about it, but keeping with the theme of the cloning and stuff, I'm going to say some cloning conspiracy theory.
So definitely, like, I'm agreement on the body doubling. I didn't even think about it being like cloning. So they're, being rich. This guy runs Vegas.
Different actors then.
Well, I think what they were trying to say is that this guy is just trying to outsmart everybody by not being the face of, the richest man in the world. Like he can kind of do whatever he wants because he has this other guy that is pretending to be him.
I agree with that.
Right, but if he looks exactly the same,
that's where it kind of breaks down a little bit. Like, why don't you get someone that looks a little different? But yeah, he pretty much looks exactly the same. And so, I thought that's what they were trying to say in the show.
I would think the real Robert House would change his appearance, so he wasn't recognized, not dress up exactly like,
But I mean, the guy he's pretty cocky, right? Yeah. Pretty self-assured. You can tell by that scene where he's just like, all right, punch me in the face. And then, do you want this money?
Yeah.
Do you want this money? All right, well, let's see. And then he puts that device on him and blows his head off.
He just slaps it on him. I mean, like the
guy perfectly turns around.
I was wondering how he was how they were going to show him doing this or whatever. And he just basically turns his head and he just slaps it on him. I mean,
he's like, well, if I don't mind if I do. And clap.
Yeah.
They totally had an opportunity to get him when he was turned around, opening the trunk for the money. I mean, that's when you go for it. Then go for it.
Yeah, that's what we all would have done. We would have just jumped him right there, but they waited and then got beat down with a baseball bat. Yep.
Oh, can I say that at the beginning of that scene, it opened with the line, "The man who knew." So have they been putting cards like that and I've just blinked and missed them before, or?
No, they didn't. And that was the first time they did that. And it was the last time. I thought it was really weird that they just had one title card and then never did it again.
Okay.
Not in this episode anyway.
Right. Is it going to be maybe at the beginning of each one? And the man who knew seems to be Robert House to me. So.
Yeah. And I think that kind of goes through the rest of the episode as we kind of, figure out who is he, what was his role, let me ask you guys this. Do you think that's who was up there in the shadows when they were in Vault-Tec having that meeting and they showed a shadowy figure up there? Do you think that was him? Because originally, I thought it was Hank.
Possibly.
You think the real Robert House was up there, but the body double was at the table.
Correct.
Well, I'm thinking maybe it was the CEO of Vault-Tec, but maybe that is Robert House. Well, I'll tell you one thing. At the end of that scene, though, he does what gives you a glimpse of him would be when he picks that device up. He says, "The world may end, but progress marches on." And then we see later on the chip gets smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, great foreshadowing there. Okay,
you do use the HH nail gun.
Yeah, there were some cool little lines in there, I thought. Okay, so now we go to the wasteland. This is what we've all been waiting for. Mm-hmm. And Lucy and the Ghoul have been tricked by a group with matching jackets. Oh, sorry.
We don't know if they were
They-
tricked. Yeah.
They
No,
tricked
they-
a group.
They tricked. Yeah.
They're setting a
You
trap.
matching jacket motherfuckers.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Right. They tricked him into capturing the ghoul for a bounty, but the joke was on them as Lucy and the ghoul escape. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that whole scenario is just hilarious with Lucy being Lucy of, hello, excuse me.
Yeah.
We were going to do this, but I'm going to give you a third option. You just let us go. I don't know. There was just a lot of humor in it.
And she
I
threw a
love
please
it.
in there. She threw a
Yeah.
please like that was going to help in any way.
Option C.
I
Option
love
she
it.
had to do option C, but she also had to let the ghoul kind of sweat for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
She let him hang there, which I thought was brutal.
Yeah.
And he
It
was not
was.
happy about it either.
Mm-mm.
So funny.
All I care
I was
about is
kind of
he
wondering
cut
what
that
would
fucking
happen.
rope.
Like, I thought maybe if he was a ghoul, like he could come back to life or something. You know, I don't know. I thought maybe they were going to really hang him. I don't know.
It's a very intense opening scene, and later the ghoul goes, all I care about is that you cut that fucking rope. You know, that kind of look. I don't know. There's some kind of unspoken loyalty there.
Right.
They're a team at this point. So, man, I would have shot that rope out of that Godzilla mouth first thing. Boom. I wouldn't have let him hang there.
I love it. Well, and the funny part there is to tie it to the game that she is standing inside a representation of Dinky the dinosaur, which is in the game, and so it's a good sniper point, I guess, in the game. So she's doing exactly what
It's
they
not
did a nice job.
Reptar?
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's not Reptar, sadly.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
cool. Cool little Easter egg there. And so that scene was great. I mean, a lot of action, really cool kills,
Mhm.
you know, and yeah, it's just a fun scene.
I
Fun
liked
scene
it.
to watch.
And it was underpinned by Big Iron on His Hip. Okay, that song, I mean, by Marty Robbins.
Marty Robbins,
Yes.
baby. That's one of my top 5 favorite albums, Gunfighter Ballads.
I loved it.
By Marty Robbins. Marty Robbins is supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what the song was. It felt like perfect for it. It felt perfect, but I didn't have the context. I couldn't place what the song was,
Right.
so that's cool.
But it fit, you know, like the vibe we're getting every time with him. And this is really kind of an homage, probably where Alex would chime in here. It's kind of an homage to The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, right? There's a scene where, what was his name? I got it right here. Tuco was hanging in the tree, and then he shoots him right. Blondie shoots it riding off. So kind of another throwback there to another just this old Western type motifs that we have going here with the Ghoul.
And I'll say Back to the Future 3.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. The one
yeah.
I had to, I don't know, I couldn't verify, but maybe in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, was there a moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
He shot the arrow
Yes.
and cut the rope.
Yes.
Yep. Good call.
Kevin Costner and Christian Slater. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yep. That was a good one. Okay. And so anything else to say about the guys in jackets? I mean, they were a gang that didn't have a chance. They should have took Lucy on her deal.
For sure.
But they didn't, and now they all did. But
And very gorily fashion too. So.
Yeah. What was your favorite one? I mean, I think when he throws that grenade in the back of his jacket and then kicks him into the other dude, and then they both fly into the pool.
Splatters, party parts everywhere.
Yes. Chunky salsa just all over the place.
This is ridiculous.
Those bullets he shoots that just blows the head apart completely.
Yes. When he grabs that chick and like gets her gun and blows her head off, that was crazy. I mean, weren't there some like ropes involved too, if I remember?
He
correctly?
took and like whipped that guy.
Woo!
Barbed wire rope. Can't be comfortable.
No.
All right. So as they continue to hunt Lucy's father, her and the ghoul debate some of their methods. They're walking through the desert there, and they're just kind of talking about, like you said, Sydney, like he was complaining about her not cutting the rope in time.
Exactly. Yeah.
But she was trying to give him a chance. And, throughout this entire episode when they're talking, they really are debating about their methodologies, right? Like she really wants to bring justice to the wasteland, and he doesn't see the point. But I think she makes a good point whenever she's like, well, this way doesn't seem to be working. So, and he can concede to that, I think. I don't think he was like really arguing about that.
She's not going to apologize for not murdering people, is what she said.
Right.
I truly think she wanted to make him sweat for a minute.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
He was.
But I don't know.
He was.
When you're in the wasteland and you get shot in the hip or whatever, that still can't be. That's still a death sentence, right? You're just going to die slower.
Shooting them in the butt and the kneecaps.
Yeah.
And the kneecaps, you got to be a good shot to do that.
Heck yeah.
And she was. She is a good shot. Okay. Anything else about that? All right. So we flash back now to Cooper, all the way back, before everything started. And he's listening in on that meeting, the one from last season, when they're in this dark room at Vault-Tec with all the other corporation leaders. And once his wife shows her true intentions, we see Cooper go home, get his daughter really quick, and get in the car and head to Bakersfield. They get interrupted by a test alert. And after noticing a Vault-Tec employee on the scene, Cooper also notices his face on the billboard for the vaults. So what'd you guys think about that scene? I mean, that was, again, like picking up right where we left off last season. It felt, it was really cool to see like what immediately happened after he discovered that.
I mean, him turning around and seeing himself on the billboard was wild, first of all.
That was
But
intense,
was the Vault-Tec, when they kind of trapped him in there, was that intentional? Suspicious?
I think it was suspicious, but I don't know if they were like trapping him intentionally. I think what was happening, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, or if you got a different take from it, but what it seemed like to me is this is like a planned test in this neighborhood. Sirens are going off, and Vault-Tec knows that that's going to happen. They put someone there, I think, as like a way to like sell more vaults. Everyone's terrified. And so imagine like you're terrified about this going on, and then someone comes to your door and says, "Hey, do you want to buy a vault?"
Wow.
Like
I didn't think about that. That's quite the setup. Marketing is crazy. That's why
that's guerrilla marketing.
I kept telling my cousin, "This is how do you market the end of the world? Like this is what she was doing in that room. It's marketing."
And you see the street team, like you see how like you put off some sirens in this area, and then have a salesperson there who's looking sinister.
I think he looked at Coop too, didn't he?
What I was that was that
gave him the snide eye, and that kind of went back to Coop looking at the billboard, and I was just imagining him thinking, "What have I become?"
Yeah.
Or what's happening here?
Because his friend, the other actor, was warning him about all of this. White Knife, I think.
Yeah.
He was warning him about this stuff, and for Cooper, it's like it's a reality check. He's like, wow, I am like promoting the end of the world, and this is I like, it's almost like he feels the guilt pretty immediately from seeing that
in real time, just like as it's happening.
And then if you remember in season 1, episode 1, I think it was, when he's taking the pictures by the horse, and the guy says, "Hey, give me a thumbs up," and he says, "No, I don't do that."
Yeah. Yep. We can see why he's pissed off about it now.
And in that scene, what kind of stood out to me was that plane, or that aircraft, and I had to look it up, but it's called a vertibird, I believe. I pretty sure, but I could be wrong. You'll get me in the comments if I'm wrong there. But it, but it flies overhead, right when he's looking at that sign, and I just had to look it up. It is, from the game. It is from all the series there. So
that's what I have such a weird. It trips me out because some things are so technologically advanced, and then other things are like, the 50s, and it's like what like a TV looks like one from the 50s or whatever, yet they have something where they can heal themselves up with a instrument, no problem or whatever. So
right, and I think what you're saying there, that's what I was kind of trying to figure out, is I think that's the first time in that era they're seeing that aircraft, I believe, right? Like I don't know if they've seen that, because this is a flashback to before the first bomb, because they're selling the vaults, right? And that's why that represented there. But even more impactful was when he's looking at that billboard and it says, "Keep your loved ones safe," and he's holding his daughter, Janie. So that was a pretty intense shot.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. So yeah, I think Paul, to your point there, I'd have to do some more research, but I believe what happened is after World War II or something, in this world, in the Fallout world, it's like we were all on track, like everything was the same as our world, but after a certain point they go in a completely different direction. Like in our world, we go in the electronic, smaller electronics, microchips kind of area of technology, but they went with nuclear fusion and these other types of things. Like they don't have cell phones, but this is the technology that they kind of started to develop, right? And so it's that very future retro.
It's so strikingly different that it comes across as odd at times,
Yeah. And Travis, what you were saying, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that flying aircraft the same one that the Brotherhood is using?
That's what I
later?
believe. I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked like they were in there when they were flying in the sky. It looks like the Brotherhood was in the helicopter.
Yeah, the origins maybe of because that they all the suits get invented, like they create the suits, and there's that whole side of the military side of this whole experiment. Because we've mainly been following Bud's side of the experiment, the 31, 32, and 33 vaults, but they were selling these to be used by these other corporations. How are you going to sell it? You can't sell it like that you're going to fall in line and do what we say. You have to sell it like it's an experiment. You get to experiment how you want to use it, right? And so West-Tec is the one that creates all the armor suits and all that stuff. They create all that stuff.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, because the Brotherhood. So this is just my guess, but I feel like the Brotherhood kind of co-ops this equipment after the Fallout, right? Like they find all of this and start to use it for their own purposes. I don't know if it was before,
but we don't
Fallout
really know.
Yeah,
we don't really know much about the Brotherhood, really.
No, we don't.
Right.
We don't. I wonder if we're going to get more information on that as the season goes on.
I don't know. Probably not.
I think we will. I think next episode's gonna.
I'm kidding. Of course we will. That's one of the that's one of the factions.
Yeah, we'll see.
Less
we'll see
in
how
season one.
Never talk about it again.
One. Yeah.
Right. Well,
all right.
But before we move on, I mean, gotta pull up the song again here. The soundtrack was pretty awesome for this episode. But I like how they're keeping these songs from the 50s, from, early 60s. This one was Make the World Go Away by Eddie Arnold. It's from 65. Make the World Go Away. Just while that was playing was pretty spot on.
The needle drops are so spot on, right? Like it's kind of crazy. Okay, so meanwhile, actually not meanwhile, this is later. This is back in Vault 33.
Forward, back, sideways, it's all over.
Exactly. So we see Reg asking about Norm. But Betty reminds him that they're working on a water chip issue and suggests that he start a club to keep him busy. So in this scene, it's just comedy. This guy's licking on a giant lollipop.
Oh my
He
God.
had a giant. It made me want a giant lollipop
like,
real
this guy
bad.
in
I'm
the
not gonna
sucker.
lie. No, I want one.
And
I know.
he's like, what kind? She's then disses him by saying, start a club for the shame and uselessness.
Yeah. Well, that was spun from her saying like, "Hey, Norm has been selected to, move up in the ranks, and he's off in 31." He's like, "Oh, everybody gets promoted but me."
He's like the Vault AA therapist for Vault. His Vault.
It was an anonymous
So,
group, yeah.
I was wondering, like, so wait, does Betty know that he's trapped there, or is she just making up some excuse?
I'm not positive. I think some of the thoughts
Shame
are
me.
that he's I think some people think that they know and some don't.
Okay.
Because as the scene unfolds into the next after the next flashback, what's her name? Angela? Stephanie. She accidentally turns off the intercommunication. So
Okay,
Oh my
I had a question
God,
about that. I
Chet.
wasn't sure what happened there, but okay, so
yeah, we'll get there.
yeah, we'll get there. So like, I guess they're still trying to figure out this whole water chip thing, which Alex mentioned is one of the, the plots of the game.
Yes, actually
is
in
the
1
water
and
chip
2,
breaks.
it looks just
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. But I just thought it was really interesting how she tries to just, dismiss him, like Paul said, and he goes to do this thing. But Betty, she's like, what was it? Some guy walks up to her and he's like, "Oh, heavy is the head that wears the crown." And she's like, "You don't know the half of it." Because he doesn't know actually what's going on, but she does. And I just wonder how much of it she actually knows. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
We'll find out, I guess. We'll find out.
Now, I
But,
don't even know if that guy had a name. It's just the engineer. In these vaults,
Yeah.
if you don't have a role, are you just like he's just engineer of 33? Like that's
You're Chet Jr.
oh,
Chet
you're
the
Chet
third.
Jr.
Everyone's Chet Jr.
Oh my gosh, that was so weird.
I just one quick thing about the whole Betty and Reg thing. I just thought it was so funny when he's like, "Well, how am I feeling?" And what do I have? And she's like, "I don't know, shame, uselessness." he didn't even get it.
Yeah, I don't have shame.
I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I'm not valuable.
Yeah, that was just subtle comedy. Okay, so we'll get to the other part. So Davy's complaining to Stephanie. Davy's the older gentleman that's like really used to the way the vault that he used to be in. So he's complaining about how difficult it is to adjust to this new vault.
In 33,
He has
everything
to
is
take a right instead of a left.
Yeah. I don't know
he
if I can do
pitches
it.
like, "Oh, we should make some signs. Oh, wait, maybe we should like come up with something to figure out the signs." Yeah, I forgot what he said exactly, but
it was so funny that line. Yeah, it's escaping me right now.
yeah. But then we go and we look in the waiting room and we see Chet and his unnamed baby.
Yeah.
And then and he goes in to talk to Stephanie and vent to her. She really doesn't want to hear it. And matter of fact, once he leaves, then we figure out that she's actually unable to communicate with the other vault. She's frustrated by that.
But the whole Davy and Chet exchange was just written so well. Like he's just telling him like, well, how's it like to be the father? Or, I can't remember the script right now, but
What's it like being a husband? I'm not married to her.
Yeah, it was always the opposite
being a father.
answer.
It's not my kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're
Hilarious.
gaslighting him to being a father.
So then he goes in and tells Stephanie they're calling him Chet Jr. and she's like, "Okay, let's name him that." And then he says, "That was my father's name, and something I don't remember. Something bad happened to him or something."
Yeah,
and she was just like, "Too bad." Chet Jr. it is.
Oh my
she
God.
could not care less. She didn't even name the baby yet. That's hilarious.
He forced adoption. He can't even
Calling it.
You can't even get away.
It.
Like, where are you gonna go? You have to what you like. I you can't get out of this scenario. Like, he's in it now.
He's truly stuck. Yeah.
He's just holding the baby now in every scene we see.
She doesn't even. She's not gonna take care of it at all. He's got
dying.
He's probably
He just wants
breastfeeding
to
it.
be he just wants to be the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's just going along. He's like getting along to go along, or going along to get along. Like he, if you remember back to season 1, Norm was the one that was trying to like get him out to do something. He was just totally happy, doing cousin stuff, and then hooking up with Stephanie,
Which is not supposed to happen, but it seems to still happen in the support group.
We find out more about that.
We do find out more about that.
Didn't they have a meeting to like try to make it more okay?
We're not
Yeah.
Yes.
We're almost there.
Okay.
So next we go to Vault 31, and we check in and see how Norm has been surviving in this vault with the mini Bob Askins, mini robot, attempting to get him to get in his dad's cryo chamber. And this is another just like, bit of comedy mixed in with like kind of a tragic situation, because he's gone through all of the food that's there, food and water, but he doesn't want to give up, and this mini robot is trying to force him into it.
Well, what I just thought about when you're
and the
saying
robot
that
says
is that,
either
what you're saying, like he's trying to get him to do this, but how long has he been there? That's what I was wondering.
I don't know, but yeah, he's gone through all the rations.
Also, the robot is saying to him, either you can die this slow death by not eating or drinking, or I can inject you with this thing, but you have to put yourself in front of me to be able to do it, and then you'll go fast.
That shot seemed pretty tempting, probably in the moment.
Oh my god! You'll disintegrate and you'll be absorbed into the filtration system.
Yeah.
So the little brain on wheels did make Norm his bitch briefly. Yes.
Well, it seemed like Norm was like, like you said, he's tempted by it, but he has a will to survive, and he does not want to give up. And then we'll come back to him, but yeah, that was a funny part.
That's my MVP.
Okay.
I want to shout out to Norm. Okay. Shout out Norm.
All right.
For not selling out and giving in.
Which I mean, man, that's a tempting thing, right?
The robot does say at this point that, we're going to wait to recolonize basically once we wipe everyone off the surface. And so we have no one to disagree with.
Yeah.
When is that?
Didn't notice that, but did notice that line.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and speaking of no one to disagree with, we go back to the wasteland. The Ghoul and Lucy stumble upon a victim of her dad's. And it's the guy that's like laid out on the floor with just a giant boot print through his entire body. And then they come across a stand with some flea soup. And oh
gross.
my god.
Ew.
On the way, we find out why Lucy wants to bring her father to justice, and they stumble into Vault 24. But yeah, this flea soup stand.
Oh,
whoa!
When she started shaking her
I've
her
seen
hair,
so
I was just
many
like, wow.
memes and videos today of the flea soup, like Lucy eating the flea soup, and it's just like disgusting, dude. Oh,
Perfect Fallout food, right?
Oh my god! The fact she's just there and like prepared all the time to serve this soup, like for how long? For just like
she must have other customers.
She starts asking, did you see my son? And they're not, well, no, or yeah, he's over there. Well, that cocksucker owes me money.
And that's so funny. Originally, I thought that the son was the guy on the floor with the hole in him, or he was cut in half. But I guess the son is the guy that got his head exploded in Vault 24.
Okay.
Yikes.
Is that what you guys picked up too?
Maybe that makes sense.
No. I didn't know who the guy was cut in half.
Yeah, I don't know if it's anybody. Like, I think that was just someone that
I think that
crossed
guy was
paths
like
with
dehydrated, dying, and was like laying there, like, and probably he was like,
Okay.
help, and then he just went stomp and like walked on him.
Yeah.
I guess I read too much. I think the Ghoul was like, "Oh, you just keep making friends or something." I didn't know
Yeah, I
shit.
remember that line.
Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, Hank is on a warpath.
I had Lucy saying, I'm going to bring him to justice and I'm going to lead by example, which is, again, one of her virtuous, attributes of how she looks at the world and says, I'm not going to kill him or do whatever. I just want to bring him to justice. And I'll do it by, I want to show everybody that this is the way the world should work. So,
Yeah. She wants to do what's right. Even not being rude by drinking that lady's dandruff-filled flea soup. Like, she was still trying to be polite even in that moment and just,
very polite.
as she sipped it.
Oh my
Hey.
God.
Yeah. Disgusting. All right. So then we flash back to right after Cooper finds out about Vault-Tec and his wife. He meets Moldaver in a diner, and she gives him the acting role of a lifetime as a spy. So this was interesting because I was really wondering, like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna like go home and confront his wife about this? I didn't know how that was gonna work out, but this is much more interesting because he comes home. Well, I'll just read what happens next. So while cooking dinner at home, Cooper hears a radio broadcast about Robert House just as his wife comes home, and they both brace themselves to greet each other. He's trying to get into character as like, okay, I'm not going to act like I know what's happening. And then she comes home and is bracing herself as far as like, okay, I just pitched the end of the world. I'm going to come in and just, try to be a good housewife here. So that was
a
just
very
really cool.
tense moment. A very tense moment. Did she know at that time that he heard it? That he knows?
I don't
Do
think
you
so.
know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
I feel like she might. And also, I thought when he was like, "Oh, welcome home," I thought that had some more significance than what I'm picking up on. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think the significance is he's in character, because he has a mission
Okay.
now to go with her to Vegas, because she's about to go on this trip and he wants to go with her. And so I think he's just trying to act like he doesn't know what's happening.
Okay. Yeah.
and did you notice the Whack-A-Commie game that his daughter was playing instead of Whack-A-Mole?
Yeah. Whack-A-Commie.
That cracked
And
me
then
up.
the camera, stayed on it as they're leaving, and one more popped up. Kind of ominous a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a significant discussions between Moldaver and Coop about her telling him, "Hey, he's built a weapon system, that's in Las Vegas," and she's asking him like, when the world goes down in flames, at least you'll know your hands are clean. That's her impetus to get him to spy.
Yes. Because I bet he feels, somewhat culpable or responsible, for all of this. And so it seems like he's really looking for a way to try to fix it.
Feels like they tied that together with the ad on the radios, and it, like him, what was he talking about? The missiles? I can't recall.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that kind of tied that together.
Yeah. Well,
where he's like, okay,
radio,
I think I'm going to go through with this.
On the radio, I think what was happening is they were reporting that he said it's not if the bombs are going to drop, but who's going to push the button.
Right.
So, I think he was kind of like nudging things in that direction.
That quote was, "The question isn't when the world will end. The question is who will push the button."
All right.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, like we're just starting to understand who this Robert House is, getting a little piece by piece. And we'll even touch on it a little bit more as we kind of go into later on when Hank goes there. So in Vault 24, Lucy and the Ghoul run into another Vault experiment where they were attempting to brainwash Americans into becoming communists. They also run into a messenger that Hank, Lucy's dad, left for her to find with a trail of sugar bombs. What'd you guys think about this part?
Kind of weird. Super weird that he put that what he said in there in that chip to convey the message to him, and then call her sugar bomb. Like, this is so weird. And the cereal's sitting there. I don't know if I'd be like, what the hell?
I don't remember like him calling her sugar bomb in season 1, but it made it kind of obvious that like, oh, like she kind of recognizes that this is her dad talking to her.
That's her nickname growing up.
That scene made me kind of squeamish. It was intense.
Yeah.
To see him being mind controlled like that with the sugar. I mean, and to see his head explode in her face after that message.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they never perfected it. They never got it to not blow people's heads up.
Or maybe they didn't want to.
Okay.
I mean, they don't seem like they truly care about the person they're sticking this implant on.
The science matters more.
Got me.
Right. Yeah. And it was interesting that this particular experiment is like trying to brainwash people. They had the whole like spinning hypnotic, screen,
scary visuals and the roaches in the video. Like,
yeah, I don't know how well that works, but they were trying it.
Yeah.
Weren't they all wearing red jumpsuits too?
Yeah, matching jackets. More matching jackets, as Cooper said. Okay, so then back in Vault 33, we go back to Reg as he leads a support group meeting. Some people in the group want to change the inbreeding rules.
Yes.
There's only 3. There's only 3 people there. 2 of them wanted to change the inbreeding rules.
Yes.
And
no, there's 4 people there.
Oh yeah,
one was just there for the snacks.
Yeah,
I love
the lady eating the snacks.
All of it. She got a bit of all of the snacks.
It was the products of inbreeding group.
The products of inbreeding support group.
And they left. The two redhead couple, they leave as soon as they figure out that Reg isn't trying to abolish the rule.
No, they're definitely trying to inbreed. Those are
yeah. That's just perfect casting, right? Like, of course,
like holding hands and look exactly alike.
Yeah, you don't have to like say that they're related. You can tell.
Well, and she was like, "Do you think this could be inbreeding because I have headaches or something?" And then he was like, "I don't know." And she's like, "Gonna leave," and he's like, "Well, no, but it could actually."
She was allergic to dust.
Yes, allergic to dust.
I was laughing out loud at that part. That was funny.
Yeah, and who knows what Reg is going to do in the future, but they focused on him in this episode, and it was all gold, I do think they made him a little too stupid, but, sucking on a lollipop or whatever, but
he's a product of inbreeding, so.
Aren't they all? Okay. And then we go over to Vault 31, where we go back to Norm. And again, he's tempted by Bud, the robot, to get into that cryo chamber. Now, instead, Norm kicks that syringe that the robot's holding and wakes up everyone else from their chambers, proving that chaos is easy. And, man, I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Plans are hard. Chaos is easy.
Yes. And so I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'm very interested to see what, what Bud Askins, the robot, is going to do when all of these managers are woken up.
All of Bud's buds.
Yeah.
It's funny that the brain didn't even think of that as being a scenario. Like, I didn't think of it either until he like did it. I was like, oh, okay, wake them all up. Yeah. Like,
yeah, but anything that the robot told him not to do, he would just walk by and do it. Well, yeah. Oh, I guess you already found that out. Well,
it wasn't an AI brain. It was just Bud's brain.
Yeah, it's just his brain. It's not that smart. But, him kicking that syringe was hilarious. Okay, so the last scene, we're in Vegas. Hank goes to Vault-Tec. We finally see him arrive there, and he gets back to business. He's putting on his old suit with a golden Pip-Boy, answering
and his 2,000 messages.
Yeah, it was 460,000 messages.
Well, let's get to work.
Shit.
Yeah, and he makes an important phone call, or not a phone call, but it was on the radio, and he also stumbles onto some important work that was started in the past that he vows to finish. And that's where we leave the episode.
Wow.
So,
well, and the funny thing at the end there is there's like an ad for skincare, but it's from West-Tec, which is the ones that had the failed armor suit, and so it's just funny that they had like this. It's like, so they also got into skincare. Like they were making all this stuff that didn't work.
Well, there's only like 6 major corporations.
That's true.
Again,
that's true.
Kind of, whatever.
That is true.
I didn't even catch that. So that's cool. But yeah, he has a golden Pip-Boy, right?
Yeah.
He's got his old suit on, and it's just really interesting, like, because you see him go through that lab and discover those same devices. I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. I truly don't know. I'm stumped. I love that I'm not even like close to trying to figure it out. It just really makes me want to watch that next episode, because I'm just wondering, like, what is the plan here?
Well, and he goes into this place. We don't even know if it's a vault, though. This is definitely part of the upper management, like secret type of facility that's somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so I just think it's pretty interesting, but nobody's there. So are these other upper level management people there, like in Crowd Frozen, or it's interesting. Where is he? Is this part still in Vegas, New Vegas?
Yeah, I thought he was in a high rise in Vegas.
Okay.
Yes, because Vegas wasn't blown up.
Right.
Vegas survived. So who knows how long they were working after this fallout?
Because of the missile defense system, that house.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And had design and going from Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the questions I'm asking myself too, is like, well, how long was this headquarters actually running? And what was their plan? What are they doing with these mind control devices that, pop people's heads like a pimple?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure we're going to get more answers as we go, but that was like a really cool cliffhanger to leave the episode on.
And they're keeping true to the motif with the era, right? So anytime, even though this out 200 years later, okay, he's right back into, it feels like the 50s, 60s, right? And it's a shout out to another song here. There was a couple more in the episode, but I couldn't relate to him as much. But Working for the Man, Roy Orbison, closing out that episode. I mean, just nailed it.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me really excited for the next episode, but what are your guys' top moments from this episode? What were your favorite moments, scenes, anything that stood out to you?
I was going to say, overall for me, the interest in the story is with the Ghoul and Lucy and their kind of quest for what's going on. Some of the other stuff going on with Reg and the people in the vaults and stuff. It's entertaining. It's funny at times, but that's not what is really grabbing me right now.
Well, and a lot of the original Vault 33 people are not even there anymore, so the story has shifted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And judging by the trailer, it's going to shift a little bit more. But I think for me, this episode, I think like my top moment was also with Lucy and the Ghoul. And it's when they are, when the Ghoul's captured and Lucy is supposed to spring the trap. And, it was just that it felt like that's what I've been waiting for,
Oh my God.
the road show of the Ghoul and Lucy, just this odd couple that are paired up, completely different views, but they have a similar purpose, right? They're both trying to get to the same place, but they disagree on how to get there, which is kind of the whole theme of the show, right? And so yeah, for me, I think that's like the number one thing I was waiting for, and I'm glad it happened really early in the episode.
I'm gonna have to agree.
It was kind of funny that when Lucy was sitting in the T-Rex's mouth, I was expecting her to start, to do what she was supposed to do. And then, sure, I'm like, excuse me, so.
Shout out. She starts negotiating with Nick the Prick. I had to look that up. That's his name. He's like, what's option C?
You can just let us go.
But I totally agree. I mean, you could tell who was captured just by his boots and the bottom of his coat. And even if you've never seen Fallout or the first season, this was just such a captivating opener and sets the tone for their relationship the rest of the season, I think. So that,
Yeah.
And I mean the badass fight scene where shit gets real to Big Iron by Wardy Robbins.
Right.
Robbins.
Yeah, the flea soup was pretty up there for me too. I was grossed out and laughing hysterically.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, we've covered them all. I mean, those are all great scenes. I don't have anything more.
what about the MVP?
Yeah.
Your favorite character?
Sid, you said yours was who again? Who was your favorite character for
Norm.
this episode?
Norm, I am
yeah,
shouting out Norm for kicking that syringe in his starvation
Yes.
survival brain, just waking everybody up. Hell yeah.
Get out
Let's
of here.
go.
Okay, I'll say for me the MVP, and this is just because of like other stuff, because I feel like he didn't get to do much in this episode yet. But I'm gonna go with Justin Theroux. I mean, I was so happy to like see that he was in the show, and again had a little part, not a little part, but didn't have a lot of screen time, but the ominous way that he was, really portraying the role, I can just tell there's so much more to come, and so I'm stoked on that. But I was really excited to see him, so I'll go with him for the MVP.
I give it to the flea lady.
The flea lady.
Hey.
She's
Nice.
keeping people nourished out on the
On the
plains
journey.
in the wasteland.
She's staying alive to keep the
Hell
fleas
yeah.
alive.
And what does she have in her other pants? Does she have some bread in her other pants?
Yeah.
Some crackers in
The
my
bread.
other pants.
Some crackers?
Yeah, in the other pants. Like, what? Why are they in your pants? I mean, shout out to Chet, man. I feel like I'd get stuck in that, like trying to talk to the hot girl, and then like she's like, here's my baby. And it's your baby.
It's your baby now.
Yeah. I'm like,
Oh my
Oh.
god.
I was just yeah, okay.
I guess
I'm
this is me now.
screaming.
I'm too nice.
Awesome. Yeah, Chet's definitely too nice, but we'll see what happens. I mean, they might be setting him up to do some different stuff as the season goes on.
Mhm.
I'm really excited to go. I can't believe that there's not another episode to watch, because I was so used to binging it
Just watch
the
it
last
again.
time. Yeah, just got to watch the same episode again, and maybe just dig into some of this research that you've been doing, Travis, or some of the theories that are coming out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are like breaking down the trailers and really trying to figure out what's going to happen next. But I just want to be surprised.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you're most excited about to see for the next episode. So I can't believe it's here. So that was season 2, episode 1 of Fallout. We're covering episode 2 next week.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I do have a couple questions. I would really love to know, what was the most brutal kill KO scene of this episode for you? Which one was your favorite?
The one that just stands out to me is the dude that's cut in half with a footprint. That just seemed brutal because, like he didn't even die right away. You know what I mean? To just be like split in half like that. We didn't see it, but just seeing the aftermath of it was gnarly enough.
The one that stood out for me was the head blowing up at the beginning at the mind control device. Yeah. I mean,
see, I have to agree with that. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
That was brutal.
Unexpected.
I still can't believe the guys just stood there while it would. He has a bat now. Hey, Bill, wait. Just get beat the hell up with a bat, like, and the other guy's just standing there.
And then he throws it at the guy when he runs away.
Like he stood there watching him get beat. It's so funny.
I gotta call out to Weapons for that kind of mind control with the stick and Gladys, and that mind control is a crazy thought to me. My own personal question for the comments: what do you think of AI and robots in general kind of taking over? What are your thoughts on that? I would love to know in the comments. But please like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, even Twitter. And we would really appreciate 5 stars. 5 guys, 5 stars, please. 5 stars or no stars. Thank you for listening. And that's a wrap on this week's episode of Cinema.